also have Vanessa Reyes here, my colleague at Teco, and we are going to be talking about our experience with eGain, so we're happy to be here. Figure out this thing here. All right. So we are with Tampa Electric and Peoples Gas, and collectively called Teco. Tampa Electric, we serve about 800,000 customers in the Tampa Bay area. For Peoples Gas, we have gas divisions across the state of Florida, so all over Florida. So anytime a hurricane comes anywhere close to Florida, we're impacted in some way. And in fact, we are still recovering from Hurricane Ian. Yep, and we had about 300,000 customers out of power, and we have a Fort Myers gas division, so we had a lot of impact there as well. We are part of the Amera family. It's a Canadian-based company, and we're about 61% of the whole portfolio. So my name is Melissa. I graduated from USF in Tampa with my bachelor's and my master's, and funny enough, I started my career as a CPA. So how I got into customer experience, I don't know. But I started at Tampa Electric as an auditor and made my way to customer experience, and so I definitely have a passion for it, and I've stayed there for about five or 6 years. Since my time in customer experience in 2017, we have done a lot, really a customer transformation that we're going to talk a little bit about, all starting when we rolled out our new CRB system in 2017, and our first ever portal where customers could log in. Can you believe it? Just 5 years ago, we didn't even have a portal. And so I'm going to let Vanessa introduce herself.
Yes, so a little bit about myself, Vanessa Reyes. I also graduated from USF with a bachelor's in leadership and change management. Been with Teco for about 7 years now and transitioned to our policy and procedures team in 2018. So ties back into our CRB launch. We had to create all brand new procedures, so that was a nice undertaking there. And I've built partnerships throughout our entire organization with various process owners to document their processes and their procedures. A lot of areas did not have any of that outlined. So not only was it transitioning from our old system, but setting up stuff for our new system. And I was able to work very closely with eGain on the knowledge management, knowledge-based system, because that's basically what my group does. Back to Melissa.
All right, so this is a quote that has really kind of embodied all of our customer experience strategy work, our roadmap, our digital transformation, and we've kind of talked a lot about it. It's been kind of a recurring theme within the day. But the last best experience anyone has anywhere becomes the minimum expectation for the experience that they want everywhere. And it's so true. I mean, you know, I can be laying in bed doing my Christmas shopping on Amazon, and just how easy and quick that is. And you know, even though we are a utility company, and you know, we provide a very basic commodity, electricity, you know, customers traditionally have wanted electricity to be affordable, they want it to be safe, and they want it to be reliable. But now they also want to do business anywhere they want, anytime they want, through any channel that they choose. And so a lot of things have changed in terms of customer expectations over the years. And so even though typically the utility industry is pretty slow to change, we have done a lot in the digital transformation area. So I mentioned in 2017 was really the beginning of our customer transformation. We implemented our new customer billing system, our customer portal, and then we rolled out our customer experience strategy that you see here. It's really around these 3 pillars: simplifying the experience, whether that's through technology, whether that's through processes and procedures, first call resolution, personalizing the experience, making sure that we understand what customers want and we're delivering based on the different needs and expectations of customers, and then partnering with customers in meaningful ways. Not all customers want the same thing, so really listening and understanding what matters to your customers. And this slide kind of shows some of the programs that we've rolled out over the years. And you'll notice with the kind of in the middle here where it says customer commitment training, we're going to talk a little bit about that. But these programs were not just focused on our customers, they were also focused on our employees. How do we empower our employees? And it really ties well into the very first presentation that we had this morning around customer obsession. And you're just talking about how we can't do that in silos. It's not just one area within the company. It's not just the agents on the phone. It really needs to be much broader than that. I'm sorry, my mouth gets so dry. And just thinking about the hurricane that we just had. Well, you know, our agents on the phone, they're answering the calls, they're listening to customers. Some customers have been out for days, not just hours. You know, they're sympathizing with the customers, they're trying to help them, but at the end of the day, it's the linemen that are out in the field restoring power. And so if you know, our energy delivery team is not working closely with our customer experience team, that customer experience is not going to be what we strive for. So this is our customer commitment statement. It was in 2018, I believe, we actually developed what we called the customer commitment training, and we have about 2,500 employees at Tampa Electric, about 600 or 700 at Peoples Gas. We did an in-person training, an hour-and-a-half long training, and you can imagine how difficult it is to get people in person even before COVID. You know, you think about, you know, the people at our power plant or the linemen, you know, they don't have time to sit in front of you and listen to you talk about the customer and how important the customer is and what matters to the customer. But we did it. We trained in person all 3,500-ish employees that year, and then since then we have made it an annual thing. We since have condensed it, made an online version. You know, COVID changed a lot of things, but it really mattered to us how our employees viewed the customer experience and how they saw their role in the customer experience. So these are just some of the initiatives that, you know, that we worked on over the years that have aligned with our strategy. Enhancing technology solutions. We'll talk a little bit about how we have partnered with eGain. Streamlining the customer journey, automating processes. You see all of that aligns with simplifying that customer experience. Personalization, personalized communications. I forget what presentation it was, but they talked about, I think it was the credit union, talked about that and how during COVID, those personalized communications were so critical. Customer programs, tailoring our customer programs based on what customers want. Do they want solar programs? Do they want billing programs? Do they want energy conservation? You know, all our customers are all different, and so we had to do some segmentation work to really understand what the different segments of our customers were. And then once we understand the needs and expectations of our customers, you know, we work on partnering with them in meaningful ways. So I'm actually going to skip to this slide and then I'll go back to the other slide. But our journey with eGain, more water. Our journey with eGain started in 2020. And as someone mentioned, 2020 was COVID. I think probably a lot of us had implementations during that time, and it was really challenging. Our entire call center, we worked remotely during that time. Now we're about a 70-30 split. But we started engaging with eGain as part of the replacement of our IVR. And our IVR, the equipment and the system itself was end of life and had been in, which is pretty typical for the utility industry, had been in operation for years and years, and it really was time for an upgrade, kind of setting the foundation for our digital transformation. And so we started working with eGain in 2020 as part of that project. Really, we wanted to see better self-service. We wanted to make sure that our customers had the ability to self-serve online, self-serve through the virtual assistant. We wanted to empower our agents. You can imagine, and this was mentioned also, but we have two different utilities that our call center is serving, the gas utility and the electric utility. Very different businesses. On the electric side, you have that obligation to serve, and on the gas side, you have the option to serve. It's something that you have the need to obtain customers and to retain them, where we don't necessarily have that on the electric side. Very different safety protocol between gas and electric, and so all of our agents, we do have the universal agent concept, but we have to make sure that they're getting the information that they need quickly, and we have done so well at streamlining our processes that the calls that we get now are the really complex ones. And so, you want to make sure that you're enabling and empowering your agents to have the right information at their fingertips. Go back. Oh, sorry, there's one more thing here. Okay. We rolled out our tool in December of 21. So it was a tough project, everybody being remote. It was a big initiative. The eGain part was definitely the easier part of all of it. We had, replacing our IVR was a real challenge. But why eGain? When we started partnering with them, we were able to really see their offerings, the solutions that they had. We knew we wanted to improve our self-service. We knew we wanted to deflect calls into our contact center. We were on this digital transformation journey, and just the offerings that they had really fit well with the goals that we had, and including empowering our agents. We have since worked with them through the managed services and seen some really great results. Just with customer expectations changing so quickly. Really that innovative approach to ensure that you're getting new functionality out to customers in a quick way was really important for us. Something that we were very new at, as I keep mentioning the utility industry. I don't know if anyone has ever worked in the utility industry. We have people that have been there for 40 years and been doing the same thing for 40 years. And so it's challenging to get things moving, and even more challenging to stay up to date with new technology to really be able to meet customer expectations. So just the approach that eGain has taken, their partnership, our client manager, it has just been a good relationship. And of course, there's always kinks and things that we've had to work out along the way. But Vanessa's going to talk a little bit about the tool that she is using every day. But it has been a really good experience for us. And I am going to turn it over to Vanessa.
Thank you. So as Melissa mentioned, the tool I use every day, as I said, process and procedures. We are the authors of the procedures that we expect all our agents to use. Since they are held to a strict standard as far as safety, messaging that they have to provide, the right way to process a transaction is critical, so they have to be able to access that information quickly. This is just an example of our knowledge base. So this is where we develop, maintain, and publish all our procedures for end users. We also utilize this to post announcements to our console. So if there is any kind of messaging that we need to put out there, it is then published to the knowledge management for the reps to see, which is this. So we have our incorporated knowledge base that will show up in Finesse. And then we also have a standalone because we have users that are not in our Finesse desktop, but still need to access those procedures as well. And we did get feedback from, in this case, my customer, which is the end user, on what they would like these tiles to look like, how it's presented to them so that they can find the information that they need quickly. So some of the benefits that we've seen as far as the authoring goes is one-to-many publishing. So we do have segmented groups as well. And so if we have an article that is specific to everyone across the board, we can easily publish it. We don't have to do it in multiple places. It's just out there. There's a required reading tool, which again, with us having compliance things, we have to make sure that people have read specific things that have been put out there, specific updates. So we're able to utilize that required reading, and the rep will get a notification that there is new required reading for them to check up on. And they do have to check a box to say that they've completed that required reading. With those recent enhancements, we've also been able to provide a revised date and a summary of what was updated recently for the rep as well. So if you've got very long articles, which we do, this allows them to easily identify instead of having to read through multiple paragraphs to, hey, try to figure out what the difference is. And we've also got analytic insights for refinement and managed services as an extended authoring team. So then for the agent experience, continuous improvement and search effectiveness. So because we are able to tag articles with certain keywords, I'm sure some of you experience this as well, a customer may call in and state that they're looking for a specific program, but it may not be the terminology that we use in our system. We can tag an article with that keyword, and so if the rep types that in, that article pops up. Personalization. So I know a couple of other people have mentioned this, but like I said, we do have different groups, and we have that one portal where all of our articles are published. By utilizing that personalization, we can ensure that whatever role that person is in, they only see articles that are applicable to them. So they don't have the noise of a procedure that does not apply to them and trying to figure out, oh, should I even be doing this transaction? They don't have the capability to. That's no longer an issue for them. We can also tag related articles, so at the end of a procedure, they can see other articles that maybe fall into that same category. So if a customer is looking for different payment options, we can tag various articles at the bottom of that, and the rep can just click on those to pull those up as well. As we said, since they helped design it, to them it's visually more appealing. Before, what we used for our knowledge base, it was just kind of like, you know, just a plain white page with, here's you click on your articles and read your procedures. And then, as I mentioned, the carousel for important announcements. So it will scroll through. They can click on the actual announcement and get additional information. We can put links to other articles if it's something that we need to refer them to, so that they can find the information easily. And if it's not kept on the carousel, we do keep it in a topic in case they need to refer to it later. So if they were out, they can come back in and see anything that may have changed while they were on vacation or unavailable. I know somebody else did show the accordion functionality. Again, something that can pull up the article to be very compact, and then the rep can just jump to where they need to be. It's a great functionality. And then our guided helps. So for those scenarios that we have, especially emergency, the rep can just answer the questions and get to where they need to be, and we provide them with any of the disclaimers that they need to provide. We point them to any other sections that they need to be in so that they can specifically address the client that's on the phone. and they're not reading through, again, multiple different scenarios in a procedure. They can just easily access the information that they need. So back to Melissa.
Thanks. You can imagine in those emergency situations, they can be very tense and chaotic feeling, but it's very important for the safety of our customers and our field technicians that the rep is following that, so that guided help really helps us a lot. So then we also rolled out the external piece for our knowledge management tool for our customers to be able to go to our websites. We rolled out new websites for tampaelectric.com and peoplesgas.com, so now customers can go and do keyword searches. They can search by topic for articles that are, whether it's safety or outage related. They can look at what articles are trending, and so it's much more interactive for our customers to be able to find the information that they want to read. We rolled out our virtual assistants. We have more plans for the virtual assistant. We want to make it transactional so that customers can use it to pay their bill or to view their bill or different scenarios like that. But right now, it really is helping to deflect calls into our call center because customers are getting their questions answered through the virtual assistant. And so, whether it's how to log into your account, what if you have trouble logging into your account, how do you report an outage, how do you, what are my bill payment options? And so, a lot of those calls would go into our call center, and now we're able to deflect a lot of that and help customers self-serve online. And it's, the same knowledge base, we're able to allow, internally to edit and then publish those articles to make sure that our customers are getting consistent, accurate information. A lot of times, especially around safety protocols and procedures, those things can change, and so it's important for us to get those messages out. Some benefits: we've seen a very great self-service rate. Availability 24/7. I mentioned earlier that it's no longer business hours that customers are wanting their information. It's based on their hours. When do they transact? When do they go online? And so it's really dependent on the needs of our customers, and that's 24/7. And you can't staff a contact center 24/7, and so this really gives us the opportunity to still serve our customers with that kind of support. The instant response in Tampa, there is a big need for multilingual, so we have that capability. Just a general increased customer engagement. We have customers going to our websites, and as we continue to introduce new functionality, now that our customers are becoming more engaged online, we'll see a better adoption rate as we go. And this just kind of talks through seeing our self-service rate kind of dip a little bit, but overall a very strong self-service rate, so we've been really happy with that. So what's next for us? I think you all know that it doesn't stop. It's not like you finally arrived to customer obsession. It's a constant journey that you are working towards. Technology is constantly changing. The expectations of customers constantly changing, and we're just kind of running behind trying to keep up with it. But we do anticipate on introducing the AI for, to be able to automatically suggest articles based on the conversation. We want to get better with the reporting so we can, really show and help kind of differentiate between the types of calls, the types of interactions. Approval workflow has been something that, we have, worked with and kind of struggled with. Around our policies and procedures from a compliance perspective, it's really important for us to have that approval. And then just continued enhancements. I mentioned the transactional chatbot, smart IVR. So, we continue to progress on our digital roadmap. I do want to just kind of brag about our JDP results. In 2017, we were in the 4th quartile, and now all of the drivers are in the 1st quartile, so we're really proud of that. That's it. Feel free if you need to ask questions or need to engage us or bounce ideas off, feel free to reach out to us. Thank you.
Thank you.